So today we actually have a special episode. We're going to be using artificial intelligence to roleplay. Crazy. I know. Don't get your mind blown just yet. I'm going to open up ChatGPT, and I hope that you have the premium version of ChatGPT. If you don't have the premium version, you're slack. And then you can get these things called My GPTs. So like I got ChatGPT, and then up here at the top, you can get these things called GPTs. So you can explore GPTs, and there's like this negotiator GPT. So it's pretty much an AI that is specifically trained to practice negotiation. Let's kick it off. Hey ChatGPT, so I want to practice a negotiation with you. The negotiation that I want to practice is I'm calling MLS properties, and it's a clearly distressed property, something that would make sense for a real estate wholesaler. I don't want them to know that I'm a real estate wholesaler, but they're prying and trying to figure out if I am or not. And they're insisting that I walk the property before I make an offer. So let's practice this role play. Do you need any more context?
That sounds like a great scenario to practice. A bit more context would help. What is the property listed at, and what is your target price? Additionally, do you have any specific reasons for not wanting to walk the property, like constraints or the property's condition?
Yeah, so let's say that the listing price is $100,000 and I need the property at $60,000. And the reason why I don't want to walk the property, but the agent doesn't know this, and I'm not going to tell the agent this, is because I make a lot of offers and I'm actually virtually wholesaling, but they probably think that I live nearby given my area code.
Got it. Let's jump into the role play. You start the conversation and I'll respond as the agent from MLS Properties. Ready when you are.
Yep, let's do it. Ring, ring.
Hello, this is Jane from MLS Properties. How can I assist you today?
Hey, Jane, my name is Nathan. I came across this property that you had listed on 123 Main Street. I'm interested in it, but before I submit an offer, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions.
Of course, Nathan. I'd be happy to help. What questions do you have about the property?
Yeah, so I was reading the public remarks and I didn't see anything about the age of the roof or the AC. And given the age of the property, I want to make sure there's no foundation issues, mold, termite damage. Could you catch me up to speed on all of that?
Sure, Nathan. The roof was replaced about 7 years ago, and the AC is 5 years old. As for the foundation, there haven't been any reported issues, but since it's an older property, I would recommend an inspection to be certain. We've had a termite inspection recently, and it came back clear. There's no known mold damage, but again, an inspection would give you a more definitive answer. Does that help?
Yeah, that does help. What's the story with this property? Like, why are they selling it? How did it get to this kind of condition? It looks pretty dated.
The property is part of an estate sale. The previous owner had lived there for many years and didn't keep up with modern updates. The family is looking to sell it quickly, which is why it's priced as it is. They're motivated to get it off their hands, which is also why it might appear a bit dated and in need of some TLC.
All right. Well, yeah, I'd be interested in submitting an offer. What email should I send my offer to?
You can send your offer to jane@mlsproperties.com. However, I would strongly recommend walking the property before making an offer. It's important to see it in person to understand its condition fully. Would you be able to schedule a visit this week?
Yeah, I could potentially schedule a visit. I just want to make sure that I don't waste your time, the seller's time, or my contractor's time. Why don't I make you an offer? And if the seller is in the same range as my offer, then we can go walk it and we can sign at the property afterwards. Does that sound fair?
I understand your concern, Nathan. That does sound fair. If you submit an offer, I'll present it to the seller. And if it's within a reasonable range, we can move forward with scheduling a walkthrough and finalize things on site if it all checks out. Go ahead and send your offer to my email and we'll take it from there.
Okay, so now let's stop the negotiation and we're gonna restart it after this message. I want you to be 10 times harder on me.
Got it. I'll step up the challenge. Ready to start again?
Let's do it.
Hello, this is Jane from MLS Properties. How can I assist you today?
Hey, Jane, my name is Nathan. I'm an investor in the area, and I came across the property that you had listed on 123 Main Street. I'm interested in it, but because I'm not an agent, I don't get to see the private remarks, and I'm wondering if you have the age of the roof, AC, water heater, and I just wanted to get some additional details of, is there any foundation issues, mold, termite damage? What's the story with this property? How did it get to this condition? You got a moment to kind of go over those details?
Hi, Nathan. Well, I can give you some of that information. The roof and AC are both a few years old, but I don't have exact dates right now. The water heater is older and might need replacing soon. As for the foundation, mold, and termites, we always recommend an inspection since the property is being sold as is. The property is an estate sale, so it's been lived in for many years without updates. But before we go any further, it's important that you walk the property. We've had several interested parties, and the seller wants to ensure any offers come from serious buyers who've seen the place. When can you schedule a visit?
Okay. Well, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste the seller's time, and I don't want to waste my contractor's time. Why don't you give me a moment to run my numbers? We can see if we're in the same range. And if we're in the same range, then we could potentially walk the property afterwards and sign at the property. But I am curious, why is it important to the seller that people walk the property first? Did they get like screwed around by some crappy wholesalers or something?
Nathan, the seller has been very clear that they want serious buyers who have seen the property because they've had multiple offers fall through our inspections. This property is priced to sell, and the condition is a big factor. If you're serious, a walkthrough would show your commitment. We can't move forward without that step. So when can you come by and see it in person?
I'm looking at it on Zillow right now, and I'm seeing that, it's obviously overpriced. The market is saying so. It has really high days on market, really few views, and really few saves. So the market is saying that it's overpriced, and I don't see why you would waste your time going to walk a property with me when it's clearly too overpriced. The way that I can move forward on something like this is if I make you an offer beforehand and it seems like something the seller is willing to accept, we'd be happy to walk it afterwards. But if we're, obviously not going to come to terms on prices, what's the point in you going and walking the property with me? What's the point in my contractor walking the property? What's the point in the seller getting their hopes up?
Nathan, I see where you're coming from. The market might suggest it's overpriced, but the seller is firm about having buyers walk the property first to ensure offers are based on a full understanding of its condition. If you're confident in your numbers, it would still be beneficial to see the place to make a stronger case for your offer. When can you come by, even for a quick look?
I'm pretty confident in my numbers. There's no there's no surprises that you guys are hiding from me, right? Like everything is as described in the photos. Is that why you guys are asking me to walk the property first? Is there like a surprise or something, a dead body in the closet?
No surprises, Nathan, I assure you. The property is as described and photographed. The seller just wants to ensure all serious buyers have seen it in person to avoid any misunderstandings or backouts. It's a straightforward as-is sale. Your confidence in your numbers is great, but seeing the property can only help solidify your offer. How about we set up a quick visit?
I'll tell you what, how about this? You want to FaceTime me while you're at the property? Does that work for you?
Nathan, a FaceTime walkthrough isn't typically how we operate, but I understand your position. Let me check with the seller. If they agree, we can arrange a virtual walkthrough. Can I get back to you shortly on that?
That sounds great. Let's do it.
Perfect. I'll reach out to the seller and confirm. I'll get back to you as soon as I have an answer. Thanks for being flexible, Nathan.
That's freaking awesome, isn't it? Like you can literally negotiate with artificial intelligence and it will give you feedback too. You want it to give me feedback? So now the negotiation is over and I'd like you to give me as constructive criticism as much as possible on both the first and the second negotiation.
Sure thing, Nathan. Let's break it down. First negotiation. 1. Your approach. You started strong by asking detailed questions about the property's condition. This showed you were serious and informed. 2. Offer strategy. You suggested making an offer before a walkthrough to avoid wasting time. This was logical, but it might have seemed like you were avoiding commitment. 3. Pacing. You maintained a good pace and didn't rush, which kept the conversation smooth. Seller's perspective. Address their concerns more directly. Acknowledge their need for a walkthrough and propose a middle ground sooner. Try to build more rapport with the agent. Personal connections can sometimes lead to more flexibility. Second negotiation. 1. Persistence. You were more persistent and pushed back on the walkthrough requirement effectively. 2. Market insight. You used market data to justify your stance on the price, which was a strong move. 3. Alternatives. Suggesting a FaceTime walkthrough was creative and showed your willingness to compromise. Improvement points. The agent's increasing firmness required a softer touch at times. Balancing firmness with empathy might have been more effective. Deflection. You effectively deflected the walkthrough requirement initially, but consider acknowledging their concerns more directly before suggesting alternatives. Control. You took control of the conversation well, but be cautious not to seem too aggressive. A collaborative approach can sometimes yield better results. Overall, you did a great job of navigating the challenges and proposing solutions. Focusing a bit more on the agent's perspective and balancing firmness with flexibility could help refine your approach further.